Hey, everybody, this is the franchise Shane Douglas, the greatest wrestler in the history of professional wrestling, just saying, Philadelphia, get ready to go back to the extreme on April 28th. When you want the best and most lowdown on professional wrestling, you want it right here at IYHWrestling.com. These are the boys to get it from. Take it from me.
All right, we're back. Welcome to In Your Head Wrestling Radio. I am the Internet icon, handsome Jackie Jones, off my right-hand man.
1-inch biceps, the power goat. Ah, ha. Yeah.
Pretty good. And joining us here is, I know he'll probably think I say this all the time, but I don't. It's one of my all-time favorites. We got Perry Saturn here on the line with us.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me.
It's really cool to have you here. If anyone wants to call in, the number is 508-644-8503. And, for a while you were missing. Now you're back. And I like to keep this a fun interview, but has it been hard to actually get back in the ring?
No, getting back in is the easy part. Getting booked is hard, the working is easy.
Mm-hmm. If someone wanted to book you, how would they go about contacting you so we could put that up on the page?
Go to my website, perrysaturn.net, and I got contact information on there.
Cool. We'll have that up there so everyone can contact you. Now, there's something I've been wanting to ask you since I heard this. I believe it was on, it might have been your shoot, it might have been a Raven shoot, but it was about the Rhino helmet.
What about it?
I pretty much just wanted to bring it up. It's not even really a question, but
I think it's just dumb me and him would do. Something really dumb we would do on the road, goofing around. We were always on drugs and had nothing but free time. And I'm pretty sure Scotty came up with it. I won't take credit for coming up with it, but I modified it. He had a strap on, and he would tie it to his head. I actually got a wrestling headgear, and we put it through the headgear so it fit on your head snug. We've had it like we're Kidman's Ward, and me and Scotty put Kidman up on each side, and like we're ramming them. Just dumb, stupid shit we did when we were on drugs.
I just wondered, did you guys ever tease the wrestler Rhino about it?
No.
That's good. We do have someone here on the line from Cedar Rapids. He's been calling in all day. He's really excited to talk to you.
Yeah, this is Andrew from Cedar Rapids.
Mm-hmm. What's your question?
Yeah, I heard the other. Well, this isn't like my official question, but like last week you were going to be on Pro Wrestling Torch, but there was like a family emergency. Is everything all right?
Yeah, man, I'm good.
Alrighty. And I also remember, I've been watching wrestling since 2003, but I've been hooked on it since then. And I remember watching, a random match from Unforgiven 2000, a hardcore match, and Al Snow hit you with a pizza box. Do you remember that?
No, I was on a lot of drugs back then. I don't remember the match or anything. I don't remember Al Snow, though.
Yeah, it was like he was pretending to be someone from Italy, and it was like I'm trying to remember, it was like a time limit match. Steve Blackman and Funaki were in it.
Along those lines, you any particular weapon used in a match that you was really has a lot of memories for you? It was really funny. He brought up a pizza box.
Oh, yeah, the pizza box.
The best one I've seen, Dreamer hits, I don't remember who, somebody with a sign, and when he ripped the sign off, the paper off, it was the stop sign, which I thought was cool.
Oh, yeah. And then that's been ripped off a million times.
And actually, you know what? There was a three-way dance, me and John against the Dudleys, against the Gangsters in Pittsburgh, and I got hit with a pane glass window.
I'm sure that wasn't fun.
It was brutal. It took us hours to get all the glass out of it. The glass, exploded, and thousands of little pieces of glass was from my top of my head to the back of my knees. I was just covered in it.
Damn. Along those lines, was there ever anything someone brought up, I want to use this in a match, and you were like, there's no way I'm doing that, or were you pretty much, whatever you guys want to do?
I didn't care. No, I didn't care. None of us cared. We did whatever. Not that I can think of anybody,
Thanks for calling in, Adam.
Oh, I got one more question. How is wrestling in Iowa? How's that working out?
It's all right, man. I ain't got no complaints. I've worked down in Des Moines every few weeks. It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I actually got wrestling tickets to a WWE event. So.
That's great, Adam.
Excellent.
So you think? So am I gonna see you there anytime soon?
SmackDown? I don't believe that's up to them guys.
Thanks for calling, Adam. You're a good man.
All right, you're welcome.
Speaking of ECW, who came up with the finisher, the total elimination? It's always one of the greatest finishers.
I did. Most of mine and John's moves I came up with.
Look,
and Tommy Dreamer came up with the name Total Elimination, but I came up with the actual move.
Yeah. When you come up with stuff like that, how does it come about? Are you thinking about it, outside of the matches or different moves you guys do and you can put together? Or?
Yeah, and we just, back then you would drive so many hours and have nothing to talk about and shit, and you just talk about wrestling and try to come up with stuff, just, especially when you're young, shit constantly pops into your mind,
Yeah. Were you fans of any particular tag team? You maybe tried to emulate it all, or?
We didn't really, not really. We kind of did our own thing. I was fans of some teams, but never really tried to, take anything from them. I was a big fan of the Four Horsemen, the Brain Busters. Arn Anderson was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Everything he did, So, but me and John kind of tried to do our own thing. It was cool.
Mhm. I always think Midnight Express because they were really innovators with the double T moves, which I don't think too many people really do double T maneuvers anymore, and I always really liked that in wrestling.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't, because that's part of tag team wrestling, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But there ain't that many people. There ain't that many real teams either. It's always two guys put together,
Mhm. Well,
not anymore, there used to be teams. It's just not that way, Me and you will tag for a while, and then you'll go tag. They're not just that way anymore.
Why do you think that is? Do you think people, want to be a singles wrestler, or just wrestling itself doesn't really push tag teams as a big deal, or what is the reasoning there?
I really don't know. I don't know, man. The wrestling business changes so much. But I'm trying to think. The last team that I can think of that was really got a lot of big push and stuff was the Dudleys.
Yeah.
I can't think of, you know what I mean? Them guys are great together, both of them. But that's the last team. I can't think of anybody that's specifically just a team,
Yeah. It's usually, like you said, it's two guys put together, and usually they usually put them together so they break up and have a feud or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Were you and Cronus, were you guys friends before you were put together as a team? How did the team come about?
Yeah, me and John were friends, and we went to Memphis together and worked in Japan a long time before we were at ECW,
Is that really how you think you really gel as a team? You got to work a lot together? And
Yeah, me and John spent a lot of... in Memphis, you work 6 days a week, 7 times in them 6 days, and you drive up to maybe 2,000 miles a week, and, so we were always stuck in a car together and shit, you make no money at all, you barely get by, but you learn to working that much,
Yeah.
The old Mid-South.
No.
So just in that, and then we were in Japan together, and whenever you go to Japan, whoever's with you, we've been there with Jericho and Warlord. You get really close with all these guys because there's only a few Americans. There's not a lot to do outside of your little group,
Mm-hmm. Did you like the Japanese culture and just being in Japan? Or?
I liked working there, and I liked the money I made.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fish eater, so I didn't care for a lot of the food,
Right.
So, and sometimes we would be when we worked for War, which was owned by Tenryu, we'd be on the bus maybe 10 hours out of a day. So you're eating at some of them real small, you get up in the north or real down the south, little farm towns, you can get nothing but squid and curry rice. There's nothing good to eat. But
yeah. See, Crystal...
Great time, and I dig the work and stuff. It was cool.
Crystal Barron wants to know about your time at ECW's House of Hardcore and the students, particularly Chris Chetty.
What does she want to know about him?
Just want to know if you know, what happened to Chris Chetty. Do you think he could have been a bigger star? She's a real big, maybe the only big Chris Chetty fan. I don't know.
That was Taz's cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what happened to him, and I kind of fell off. But he should have been a big star. He had a lot of potential and stuff. You know, just a lot of times in wrestling, guys who deserve breaks don't get them. And guys who don't deserve them get them. So, you know, that's just how not everybody gets what they deserve in wrestling. You know, it's just how it works out.
Yeah. What do you think it is about ECW that, like, people, you know, there's always reunions and they try to bring it back. And, you know, fans like myself, I was a big fan of ECW. They still love it. Why is it? What is it about ECW that people just still hold on to?
You know, well, one thing now, I think that ECW is awesome, but also I think that people romanticize the past. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people who've probably never even seen ECW will tell you it was their favorite wrestling of all time, you know?
Yeah.
But and I don't know what made it so good. Paulie was really great at putting us all together, and, you know, somehow he would do everything half-assed, last minute. Would make us all nuts, but when it was done, it was a good show all the time, man.
Mm-hmm. But I know what you're saying, because I graduated in '94, so ECW was like really like, you know, big to me at that time, and I used to have to stay up till like 2 in the morning and watch it on the Spanish channel here in Massachusetts.
Yeah, I got that. I got us on that channel.
Oh, really? It was like channel 27 or something.
My friend Paul Richard is up there in Peabody, Mass, and he did all the legwork and got it set up. It took us forever because fucking Paulie kept dilly-dallying around, not sending tapes, not sending checks, just because he does everything last minute. But yeah, it was on the Spanish. I can't remember the name of the network, but yeah, it was the Spanish. It was on late night. Yep. Yeah,
I remember the ads because they're all in Spanish, and it would always be Sábado Gigante, Football y Más. And I only remember that because I watch ECW every Saturday night at 2 a.m. I should be fluent in Spanish watching that, but I didn't.
I can't remember what station it was, but
it was 27 on my box, but I'm not sure you know what channel.
But my friend Paul Richard found the station and everything because we were wanting to run up there, you know, because me and John's from up there, and you just had to get couldn't go up there without TV, really, you know. So we had to get a station, and that's what they came up with, the only one we can get on.
Yeah. You know, when Barely Legal came around, and you know, it's caught in the movie, the big speech, and it's really emotional. Was it as emotional, you know, for all you guys, or for you personally?
Oh yeah, Paulie would get us fired up, man. Paulie's a great motivator, and he would convince us how everyone in the world was against us, and it was only him on our side, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why the shows. Paulie would get everything out of you just by talking to you, man. There's been so many times when I've been so mad at Paul, I'm going to kill him the second I see him. 2 minutes after I see him, I'm laughing and hugging him and telling him I love him.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how he is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Paulie really loves wrestling. No way around it, you know. That's one of the ways, you know, that made it successful is because he loves wrestling, not the wrestling business, but wrestling, you know.
Yeah.
And it was great working for Paulie. But also a lot of times it was horrible because I'm very organized and I got OCD. Shit has to be a certain way. You can forget it. I've gotten plane tickets from Paulie an hour before my plane leaves, you know, just because he does everything that way.
No, you're working for Extreme Rising?
Yeah, I did the last show. They had Friday, Saturday show, and I did the Saturday show because I was booked here in Iowa on the Friday show. And the next show, I think, is in November, and I'm on them, you know. They were supposed to be this month, and they're not. Now I think they're November, so hopefully they go off, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty good show. You know, you're not going to ever duplicate what ECW did. It's just not going to happen. ECW is a one-of-a-kind thing. But this was a pretty good show, man.
Yeah. You like the idea of using, the names that people are familiar with, and then using that to help some of, like some younger talent that need a place to showcase themselves?
Absolutely. Paulie did that all the time, man. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do people come up and ask you for advice often? Like a younger guy?
Sometimes they do.
Do you enjoy that, like seeing a younger guy that you see potential in, or?
If I can help them out,
Mm-hmm.
if I feel I can help them out, I can definitely tell them what things to avoid doing because I've made enough mistakes,
Yeah.
But, whatever I can, like I go every, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, I go down to WWE school and teach down there. I love doing that, man. Them kids want to learn so bad, and it's awesome being around them, Like, I'm there for a week starting September 10th. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I leave there just loving the business because these guys, they're all they want to do is learn and get better, and it's just awesome to be around them.
That's really cool. Now, I remember reading, I don't know if it's true or not, so I'll ask you, when you went to ECW, that Taz was like mad that he thought that they were trying to make you kind of like Taz of WCW. Like you were in like a hoodie or I don't know. I remember reading this in the dirt sheets. I don't know if there's any truth to that.
When I went to ECW?
I mean, when you went to WCW from ECW.
No, Taz's feelings was hurt because I left ECW. But that being Taz and I are pretty good friends,
Mm-hmm.
So, and his feelings were hurt because I left ECW,
Yeah. So, what do you think about that when, the fans would chant, "You sell out, you sold out"? And you look.
They never did that. I never heard of it, or I don't.
Well, not for you in particular, but yeah, I just mean a lot of the guys they would.
I don't know. I always got good response from the fans, man. I was very lucky. They always treated me good.
Answer, you have a good question?
Yeah, Daniel Day Herring, he wanted to know, did you create the Rings of Saturn?
Yes. And I don't know how, I just thought of it one day trying to think of a submission that was different,
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he also says he really loved that move.
At times I can be pretty creative, Like I said, almost all the team moves that me and John did, I thought of,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that fun to think up new moves?
Yeah, if they work.
Right. You remember any particular move you thought up? Like, this is going to be awesome, and you tried it, and it just didn't work?
I know that's happened. I just can't think of any off the top of my head, but I guarantee it's happened.
Yeah.
I thought of something, and it just looked like shit, and I just can't remember it, though.
Yeah. So, who is really the toughest wrestler to ever wear a dress, you or Big Vito?
Toughest wrestler alive?
To wear a dress.
Tonga.
Oh, but you could go the toughest wrestler alive.
It was Tonga, for sure, Haku.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever seen that happen? Him get into it with anybody?
Let me tell you, we were in College Park, Pennsylvania for a Raw, or a Nitro, because it was WCW. We were all at a bar, and Penn State football team was in there. And some big offensive linemen started something with Hugh Morris, and Tonga tried to calm it down, and the guy charged him. And he did like that fucking goozle, grabbed the guy around the throat, and bent him over backwards. And as he was bringing him down to the floor, another big giant lineman come running at him, and he just reached up with the other hand, grabbed him around the throat, and put them down next to each other, choked them both out. Over 300 pounds each guy weighed, and he did them each one right there, boom, boom.
I always find it very strange that anybody would try to mess with like one of the big wrestlers, like out at the bar.
It happens, you know what I mean? Because wrestling's fake, everybody says, so it happens.
Yeah.
Like Haku is the nicest guy on the planet, but boy, is he a killer if he has to be.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever?
Just even in the ring, like when I work with him, try to back him up to the ropes, you slam into him, and he ain't moving in the hair if he doesn't want to. I don't care who you are. He's so strong and just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you ever have any fights with any fans outside of the ring?
No.
You're good.
No, they're pretty good security and stuff. I think at one time at WCW, when me and Asia was in the ring, a fan rolled in and I clocked him.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a very, I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
When you got
security, they're pretty tight, you know.
Mm-hmm. Obviously it was a big deal when you guys left WCW. Looking back at it all, are you glad you left WCW, went to WWE, or would you wish you stayed there?
Oh, no, I'm very glad I left. WWE was the best place I ever worked, man.
Mm-hmm. Jason is on the line.
Hey, what's going on?
You got a question for Saturn?
Yeah, Saturn. I followed your career back in the days, like when you was in WCW. I never really got to see ECW because I didn't know how the heck to watch ECW back in that day. Like, I know it was like all on pay-per-view or something, but yeah, I respect your career. You had a nice career, and like, what'd you like better, ECW or WCW?
ECW. WCW was like being in hell. It was the worst place in the world.
It was. Well, why you say that? Like,
nobody was happy there. Everybody hated their job. It was horrible there.
Well, I was an NWO fanatic. I was kind of like was a really fan of the NWO. And I liked it, the flock. I liked the Raven flock, and I remember using a Raven flock. I liked it, the flock. Like, I don't know why the flock didn't. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool group. Like, y'all was kind of like a misfit band. Like, y'all sat in the audience, and like, I thought that was a pretty cool story thing to go with. I don't know how long did it go on and when did it end, but I thought that was pretty good.
They took us out of the audience because fucking Raven kept getting drunk out there.
He kept getting drunk?
Yeah. He kept having the fans go and buy him beer, and by the time we could go do something, he'd be shit-faced. So they took us out of the audience.
Dang. I know. So you was there in the days of the NWO. What was it like being in there in the days of the NWO? Like, what was it like? Like, because, like, I know, like, y'all never really crossed too much paths, though, did y'all?
What?
You just want to know, what was it like being in WCW with the NWO? And you want to know if you guys...
It had nothing to do with NWO, because WCW was horrible. Everybody was unhappy.
For real?
Everybody was unhappy from the top to the bottom. And when everybody's unhappy, it's a miserable place to be. Everybody just bitched all day. WCW made you hate wrestling. It was horrible back there.
Is there any main reason for that? Or is it just a bunch of
because there was no boss in charge. Everybody could do whatever they wanted. Everybody would bitch all the time. It just went down, you know. The top guys never made shows. It was just, everybody was unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong with the place. And they should have been great, you know. The only thing good about that place is the money. They paid you good money, but guys making millions of dollars unhappy, so that trickles down to guys making hundreds of thousands of dollars, makes them unhappy too.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for calling in, Jason.
No problem, man.
Another question, Inchman from the board?
Yeah, Bob Gore wants to know how you felt about your TNA run.
Yeah, when I worked there, I was really bad on drugs, and I can hardly remember it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I seen a clip of some, I don't know if it was a match or some schmoz, but I was doing something with D'Lo Brown. I don't even remember D'Lo Brown being there when I was there.
Man.
I was really bad on drugs at that time in my life. I was barely functional.
Would any chance you'd go back to TNA?
Yeah, I'd work anywhere I could work it, but they definitely don't want me back. I was a bad fucking pain in the ass to them because I was fucked up all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, when do you think drugs really affected your in-ring work?
Started in WWE.
Was there a time where you could do things and it wouldn't bother you in the ring?
Well, in WCW, for the most part, I didn't get high till after I worked. You know, by the time I got to WWE, I was getting up, getting high and staying fucked up all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely was I sober, you know. There's like I was watching a match of me and Eddie with his daughter saw, and his some pay-per-view, and I beat him for the European Championship. I don't ever remember being European champion.
Mm. No, that's really
so.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, I was watching the match, and me and Eddie were both fucked up, but I guarantee at the time, we didn't think anybody could tell. And now it's so obvious to me watching it, you know?
Mm-hmm. You know, since you've gotten clean, have you stayed clean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I've been clean now for 2 April 1st ago was the last time I got high, so over like 2.5 years or whatever it is.
Oh,
but I got no desire to do it anymore. You know, I got it beat.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I'm very lucky. I got it beat, so it's, you know, I'm not going to be high again, period, ever, you know.
Mm-hmm. Do you think
and actually, you know, I'm working independence and shit. I'm really digging working sober. I haven't done that so many years. It's cool, you know?
Yeah. Do you think you would have been a better performer if you were clean the whole time?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, some people say the opposite, so I just want to ask you.
Yeah, back then I used to think probably that it was making me creative, but no, it's just fucking me up. And I watch matches and I can just tell I'm absolutely lost in the ring. I have no idea what I'm doing or what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever, were you ever afraid that you'd hurt somebody in the ring when you were messed up?
No, I pretty like, anytime I hurt somebody, it wasn't because I was fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Was it an accident, or you were intentionally trying to mess them up?
I've never intentionally hurt anybody.
Yeah.
I punched and kicked at a couple of people because they hurt me, and I just tried to retaliate, you know. Mm-hmm. I never thought, well, I'm going to hurt this person.
Yeah. No, I was just kidding, really. Here in the chat room, Jobs wants to know, what was Creative's reaction to Moppy getting over?
I don't know, man. It was it did get over, though. It's amazing that it did, I think.
You still ever carry around Moppy? Or new Moppy?
No, Raven threw it in the wood chipper.
Oh, that's right. Any fans ever ask you to sign them up or anything like that?
Yeah, I take pictures with them and shit. You know, if they bring them, I'll do whatever they want.
Right.
You know, I don't care.
Mm. Now, I know you were tweeting about Raven earlier. So you were saying that the cast of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, if you put them all together, it'd be Raven. Just do you have any Raven Road story, anything you'd like to share?
Isn't it like a Rhino enough? I can tell you another thing that me and Starter used to do together. A long time ago, WCW had a pay-per-view called Lethal Lottery. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
So the story has nothing to do with the pay-per-view, but we would take a bunch of Somas, a bunch of Vicodin, a bunch of ecstasy, a bunch of Oxycontin, and throw them into a pill bottle, and we'd call it the Lethal Lottery, and shake it up real hard, and then swallow a bunch of pills, and then he would do the same, and we'd wait to see what high we got.
Goodness.
Intro and I play that before the show. I'm just kidding.
And back in WCW, they had a Deadpool, you know, and me and Raven were 1 and 2 on everyone's list. And it's amazing that him and I are still both alive.
When you would hear that at that time, what would you think? Would you think that was funny, or what would you think?
I didn't care. I didn't pay. Raven thought it was funny. You know, I didn't care. I didn't pay any attention to it. I was having a good time. I didn't think nothing was going to happen to me.
Mm-hmm. Let's. Jamie Forsyth wants to know: do you feel your WCW debut would have had more impact if you weren't part of the flock and you were a singles wrestler?
Now what?
He wants to know when you went to WCW, if you would have preferred not to have been part of the flock and just No,
I wanted me and Scotty and Raven good friends. I wanted to do that, you know.
Mm-hmm. It worked out.
And I had a great spot in the flock. They took great care of me. I have no complaints with how they pushed me in WCW.
Yeah.
You know, I had a good spot there. It was fun, you know. I wish they wouldn't have ended the flock.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there was any reason why they ended it? Or do you think people just...
I don't know. They just always... Somebody must have thought it was a good idea to end it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They ran out of people for me and Raven to work with, so they had us work with each other. I don't know.
Well, are you going to be...
They weren't very creative booking-wise. If you look at it, like, I wrestled Booker T for the television title 6-7 Nitros in a row and Thunders.
Yeah.
You know, just if some match, me and Eddie Guerrero, if a million times, if a match was good, they never changed it.
Is that, I mean, even if you have, like, chemistry and, you know, it's fun to, is that, like, frustrating to just, you know, they just kind of throw you out there and you do this match?
Well, I don't know. I like Booker T and I always had good matches.
Yeah.
Eddie was the best worker on the planet, so working with him would always be good. So I never mind. It's just stupid that you do the same thing over and over again, you know?
Right. If you're...
I bet you 6 Nitros in a row I wrestled Booker, and every time he beat me. How boring is that story after a while?
Right. Is it, you know, if you're in the ring with somebody that you know you have a lot of chemistry with, you like wrestling, and the storylines there, is that like really special to you?
Yeah, man, yeah. Yeah, and like if you got something good with a friend too, you know, that's cool. Like, but you really like certain guys when you work with them, like Steve Blackman in WWE. I really enjoyed working with him. Raven's awesome. You know, Eddie Guerrero, unbelievable. So I like, you know, Dallas Page is always great to work with. Guys are, it just, you know, certain guys I put with, you know, and like I worked with me and Benoit against Public Enemy, and I think me and Raven against Public Enemy. Hated it. Hated working with them guys.
What was bad about working with Public Enemy?
They're lazy.
Mm-hmm. Both of them?
Yeah. Johnny Grunt's really bad, but both of them, yeah.
Huh. I always enjoyed the gimmick as a fan.
Yeah. Once they left Paul Ego, they were straight downhill, man.
Yeah, it was a lot different than their ECW days. Here in the chat room real quick, Norrin Rad wants to know, do you remember getting the face tattoos?
Do I remember getting them?
Yeah, or did you just wake up one time and you had the face tattoos?
I remember getting them. I thought it was a cool idea at the time.
Mm-hmm. Do you still think they're cool, or?
Well, I don't mind. It's mine. I got it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't have it, I wouldn't get it, but I have it, so I own it and live it with it.
Yeah. Was there any particular reason why you got that design? Did it mean anything to you? Or
I had drugs, and that's what we came up with.
Yeah. Are you going to be at the next Extreme Rising?
As far as I know.
Mm-hmm. Do you know who you're working with, or?
No idea.
No idea. But definitely check it out. I've been enjoying them. Do you think they've improved over the last couple? Or you weren't at the first one, I guess.
No, I heard that they had a lot of just bad luck shit happen on the first one, and just, you know, the last one I worked was a really good show, man.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a really good show. The fans had a good time, so the last one was definitely worth the price to get in, whatever that was. Yeah.
And then they're on iPay-per-view, which is it's kind of the future of the internet pay-per-view. It's doing well. And we get the link. There's a big banner up on the site for Extreme Rising. We can check it out. And we want to thank you for coming and talking to us today.
All right, bro. Take care. All right, man.
Thanks.
Formerly known as Hugh Morris, the Laughing Man. And you're listening to In Your Head online.